I could create world peace in about 4 seconds. China's president, Xi Jinping, and Vladimir Putin both own NFL teams. Problem solved. What teams do you think they should own?
One of them's got to take St. Louis, Missouri. I think you got to give the Rams back a team.
You got to give Utah a team.
Utah could get a team too.
From a civil rights standpoint, I don't think what Putin and Xi Jinping stand for would go over well with the American people, but I'm thinking more of it from a macro perspective of cooling tensions and less war.
You say that, but Xi Jinping starts winning football games, people are going to start forgetting everything he's done.
Welcome to the Real Oshow. I'm Zachary. Joining me as always, my partner in crime, my brother Joshua.
And on today's episode, we talk Robert Kraft getting his Super Bowl ring stolen and how Netflix is taking over sports. Enjoy.
They paper getters, they want money more than they want fame shit. I swear we go so hard, we on A-list. I see my niggas prevailing. We going hard for the hand. We gonna stack that we jaded.
This is a great interview. They doing their thing.
Pop quiz. Where does the term soccer come from?
Bangladesh.
No. Think of where soccer's played, dude.
Soccer's played everywhere.
Yeah, but England, right?
Yeah.
Oxford. It was like basically slang. They called it soccer. Apparently they add the ER to everything. They call rugby rugger. But apparently when America started to pick up playing soccer, and America called it soccer because we already had football, which was more popular. So we started calling it soccer. And then England kind of wanted to like shun us. So they kind of stuck with football and we were soccer. But I think eventually it might come around where football gets so popular, it might come around where everyone calls it soccer eventually.
I mean, I think it's one of the more confusing things possible. I will never call it. I would call it proper football, but I would never just call it football.
It's not proper football because real football is playing on the gridiron.
Yeah, but there is another term of calling it proper football, just so people understand. Because if you say football to me, I think like actual American football. Even if the person is like a heavy soccer person, they say football, I have to like readjust my brain and be like, oh, they're talking soccer. It's like converting a different language. It's like you're speaking fucking Spanish to me. So it's like you're saying something in Spanish. I got to then think of it in English and then say it back to you in Spanish.
But that's how I think the NFL has officially taken over the world.
Yes.
When proper football becomes soccer.
Interesting. I agree. I like that. Well, it's been a long 7 months, Joshua. Football season is back in full tilt. And man, it feels good, man. There's nothing better. Starts getting a little cold outside. Not cold yet, but like a little cold. You can just smell football coming around. We got our Hoosiers. We got our Lions. Lions are going to have a terrible season this year. Indiana Hoosiers are going to continue to surprise people with 8 to 9 wins, bare minimum.
I think the Lions are going to surprise people, honestly.
No, they won't.
I've been going back and forth with it. I thought they were going to suck. Now I think they're going to be good. And obviously Dan Campbell's not going to talk shit about his team, but he came out and he said, top to bottom, this is the best roster we've ever had since I've been here.
So I'm incredibly bearish on the Detroit Lions.
Why?
Because he thinks it's their best roster. That's never good. I wish Dan Campbell came out and said, we're going to be awful this year, and I'd be like, all right, we're good. Low reverse psychology.
Speaking of football, though, did you know that Vladimir Putin one time stole Robert Kraft's Super Bowl ring?
I've heard of it briefly, which is also interesting because Tom Brady got his jersey stolen one Super Bowl as well.
There's always those people that will take things, but the Vladimir Putin story is actually legendary. So in 2005, the New England Patriots beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 39. A few months later, Kraft was with the president of Citigroup in Russia. Right before they had left, Kraft had just got his brand new Super Bowl ring, and he was showing it to the president, Sandy. When Sandy goes, you should show this ring to Putin. When he shows Putin the ring, he put on the ring and literally said, I could kill someone with this. Pretty wild thing to say to someone who just put on their ring.
Not that wild when it's Putin, though.
That could be propaganda, though. We don't know.
But that's also like, I do that. I'm like, I have something. I'm like, oh, I could kill somebody. Or if like someone did that, I could like snap their neck. Like that's like supernatural as like an alpha male.
Okay, Zachary and Putin, both alphas. So obviously Kraft wants to get the ring back. So he like puts out his hand. And as soon as Robert puts out his hand, Vladimir Putin just puts the ring in his pocket. 3 KGB officers kind of just step in front of him, and Putin just leaves the room. So then Robert Kraft reached out to the U.S. government to try to get the ring back. They told him it would be in the best interest of U.S.-Soviet relations if you meant to give the ring as a gift. And now it's been nearly 20 years, and I truly think that that might be the most valuable Super Bowl ring of all time because of the story behind it. Vladimir Putin stealing it, Robert Kraft trying to get it back, literally asking the U.S. government to help him and them saying no. And it kind of tied all the way back in when last year Robert Kraft went on the Tom Brady roast and called him out for it.
I just don't understand why Robert Kraft would even show him his ring. He should have known better. It's actually on 100% on Robert Kraft.
I mean,
You can't show, bro.
it does
Putin
kind of seem
doesn't
like a gift.
care.
It does kind of seem like a gift, though, if you're like, oh, hey, look at this. Because Robert Kraft is the owner, Putin was probably like, this dude just going to get another one, which is indeed true. He just got the ring. It's not that hard for that company just to make him another ring. You know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal, but it is way funnier.
And Putin probably has no idea actually the valuability of like that ring. He just was like, oh, it's a ring. Okay, cool.
I mean, he just liked it. He loves sports. He's like, Putin loves American sports. It's true that he does like it. I just think it's legendary. That's probably one of my favorite all-time sports stories is the president of Russia stealing a Super Bowl ring. That is legendary.
I could create world peace in about 4 seconds. Let China's president, Xi Jinping, and Vladimir Putin both own NFL teams. Problem solved.
You think that does it?
Problem solved.
Wow. What if we
Problem
just
solved.
did that?
Bring-
What if we just
bring-
gave
bring-
world leaders?
Bring the G5, so top 5 biggest countries. Let the 4, because 5 would be like Trump, and we change our presidents a lot. Obviously, China, Russia, I don't even know the other 2 is probably like Great Britain and France. I don't know how they do their presidencies and all that. Let China, Vladimir Putin, and whatever U.S. sitting president, they all own a team. They all own an NFL
a
team.
Dubai Prince is going to want. They're trillionaires. They'll just start throwing money. They're going to want it too.
I think
kinda like this idea.
I think NFL football gets much better.
Could you imagine how much money these guys would make?
I would want to be on the Dubai Princes team. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
I think as they start doing more, and obviously I'm like kind of like bullshitting, but I'm being semi-serious right now. As they start doing these games all over the world, why not? Like, actually, why not?
This is kind of what the Olympics was supposed to be, but it's kind of gotten watered down now.
The Olympics is like not cool. Like, I'm going to say it. The Olympics come around, I'm like, okay. I would rather watch Hawaii at Stanford in a week 0 game. That's what I would rather watch.
Yes, as an American, yes. I think that's how we feel because if you think about it, America's biggest sport isn't even represented in the Olympics, which is football. It's not even represented. So that's why I think there's a lack of American interest. Like the World Cup of soccer, I don't even like soccer. But when that goes on, you're kind of like, this is kind of sick. You know, you want to go into it. But when I watch the Olympics, it's like something about some dude doing like shooting a bow and arrow on a ski. Like I don't really care about. Or like ping pong. Like it's cool. I'm not saying it's not cool. It's just not interesting for me.
I agree.
It could be a Twitch stream.
I'm fully on board. So I'm all in on Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin both owning NFL teams. What teams do you think they should own?
No, I think you'd have to do an expansion team for them and let them pick American cities where they have to implant themselves.
So then you'd go to 34 NFL teams?
Yeah, you have to go add 2 teams.
What are the 2 cities getting at? Say Salt Lake City, Utah?
No,
is probably one of them.
I think one of them's got to take St. Louis, Missouri. I think you got to give the Rams back a team. St. Louis has got to get a team back.
Why?
They kind of got their team taken from them. It's not like they were a shitty team. They still won a Super Bowl while they were there, and they made the playoffs like 8 times.
You got to give Utah a team.
I think
Utah needs a team.
Utah could get a team too. I think Utah could have a team too.
So Utah, St. Louis?
Yeah, I like that.
I think Putin's definitely taking Utah. That's more like Russia style, mountains, snow. Like that's like very Russia-esque. I don't think St. Louis is. Xi Jinping would be like, what's going on in St. Louis?
I mean, yeah, there's St. Louis would be different, a little different than China. But
Yeah.
I will say China's a big country, big continent, whatever it is. I don't even know geography, but it's pretty big. So therefore, there's probably a vast variety of, places just like America. You can get everything in America. I've been all around the world, and I feel like you can get everything almost in America.
That's true. I actually like this idea. We're gonna have to clip this up for Trump.
Trump has tried to buy a team 5 separate times, and they won't let him get a team. So I don't know if the NFL is going to be for this idea.
From a civil rights standpoint, I don't think what Putin and Xi Jinping stand for would go over well with the American people. But
let's
I'm
all
thinking,
be honest with you.
But I'm thinking more of it from a macro perspective of cooling tensions and less war.
You say that, but Xi Jinping starts winning football games, people are going to start forgetting everything he's done.
I couldn't agree more.
Nothing solves problems more than winning football games. You could do anything possible. Win some football games.
What's the Shane Gillis one when he's talking to Remember the Titans? He's like,
oh, yeah.
They've had 100 years of racism. They go 6-0. They're like, Man, they got a good football team down there.
He's like, they cured racism with half a football season. It's like, that's crazy.
It's true. It couldn't be
know.
more true when it comes to America. Listen, you win a couple football games, you throw a couple touchdown passes, things get slid under the rug.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of things can be forgiven. You start winning some football games, especially in a place like St. Louis. Oh, they'd be loving Gigi Ping.
Anywhere.
They'd be loving it.
Anywhere but maybe LA, things don't get erased.
I think the only people that are like this idea are people from St. Louis. I think that's the only people that are down for this idea is St. Louis because they're like, we need a team back.
I get it. I fully get it.
Let's transition here. Obviously, Jake Paul is fighting Gervonta Davis. It's on Netflix, which brings me to my real topic because I don't want to talk Jake Paul or Gervonta Davis is Netflix. I think Netflix, and we've talked about this a few times, Netflix is taking over the sports world, but I don't think they're competing like everyone else is. We were talking about this before the podcast, and all these TV providers are competing for football specifically, right? What does Netflix do? They get the Christmas Day games. They're getting like the second most watched game behind the Super Bowl, most likely. And it might get just as many views as the Super Bowl, truth be told, just because it's Christmas Day and no one's working.
And just for context, they pay $150 million per game on Christmas. It's $300 million for 2 games.
Which seems like a lot of money, but when you're making over $4 billion a month from your subscription service, probably not that crazy.
A month or a year?
A month.
They make $4 billion a month?
It's something like that, yeah. They have 300 million monthly subscribers, and if you take that by $15, whatever it costs now, it's like $4 billion.
But does the subscribers go like if one subscriber has like 6 accounts, does that give you 6?
No, because you can't have 6 accounts. Even in like a family
do.
account, no. A family account will still like kick you off if you're not like in that web. Like they know where you are in Wi-Fi. So like I get booted off the Netflix account all the time. And they're basically like, go buy another one. Even if you have a family account. Really, it's a family account in your household in the same Wi-Fi. It's not, oh, you get it all around the world. They've really cracked down on it. But like I said, people are just like, fuck it. I'm going to get it myself. But I say all that to say, I think Netflix isn't competing with the CBSs, the Foxes, all these other massive providers because they're just going at the marquee games. Just like this Jake Paul fight. The Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight had like 70 million people watching it. More than any other boxing match probably in the history of boxing.
The Tom Brady roast as well.
Tom Brady roast. You have the Christmas Day games. They're just going to slowly start picking these big ticket items up. And these leagues, these promotions want it because they have 300 million people that are going to tune in. It's genius.
Well, I also think they just have more money to throw at things where they can pay $150 million for one NFL game where like a Paramount or insert like Hulu. Like
See,
I
disagree.
know, like, I don't even know.
I disagree.
But why? Then
Because
why aren't teams
they
doing it?
have more.
Or why aren't platforms doing it? Then?
Because they have more leverage. Netflix has more leverage than Fox. They have more leverage than CBS.
So you're saying because they have 300 million subscribers.
Yes.
So it's not that they're willing to pay 150 million. You think the NFL only wants to be on Netflix. So you're
Yes.
saying Hulu could afford $150 million for an NFL
They
game.
100% can.
Then why don't they do it?
Because they're
Good,
both
then
doing it.
Do 200 million.
Exactly.
Offer 200 million.
How this works is they're in a bidding war. Basically, everyone knows where everyone's at. The difference between Netflix is going in, hey, we're going to go in, same as Hulu, same as Fox, whatever they can afford. But guess what? We have 300 million monthly users. They're going to say, hey, we had Jake Paul and Mike Tyson have 70 million views. When has Fox or CBS or anybody ever gotten 70 million views? And they're going to go, never. And they go, okay. That's
Super
why
Bowl.
Outside of the Super Bowl that they had to pay how much money for? Billions for it?
Yeah, I mean you're paying billions
Exactly.
every year.
But
you're also hosting
if
multiple
Netflix
games
could,
a week.
I'm sorry, if the NFL could, they would put the Super Bowl on Netflix. And it will happen eventually.
Yeah.
The World Cup, not this World Cup, but I bet you the next World Cup will be featured on Netflix. Just because they have the monopoly. They run the shit better than everyone. Not only were they first, they're seamless. Like Netflix has the best program than everyone.
Well, I hope
It's the most user-friendly.
I mean, I hope Netflix hosts all the sports because it's a lot easier to watch. Like when I have to go find a fucking Fox or a CBS login or a Big Ten network because I'm an Indiana Hoosier fan, I would rather it be on fucking Netflix, 100%. So I think the ease of use, which Dana White talked about this, like streaming is becoming so a part of culture that to not be on these streaming platforms, one, it's two things. One, everybody's already on the streaming platform, so you want to go where people are at. Two, these streaming platforms are dying for live sports. They need it. Else it won't survive because humans, we love live sports, like especially in America. Like,
well,
if
they
you
want
don't got
options.
live sports, we're not going to be there.
But you want options. It's funny how people got cable TV and were like, I don't want cable TV. There's too many options. So then they went to streaming services that made it more niche down. I'm only going to pay for what I want to watch. Now it's even more broad where they're like, well, I want the options again. So it's almost going back to cable. And I think a lot of these TV services, look at Disney right now. Disney bought ESPN. They're buying all these little things to try to compete with Netflix. No one is competing with Netflix. No one is. Not Disney, they're just not.
I mean, Disney, you could say maybe from a streaming platform is competing with Netflix, but no one's actually competing with Disney. Disney's won the game far beyond with all their IP, their amusement parks.
Today they have.
Everything Disney's won the game.
Today they have. But I'm just saying Netflix is going to, in 20 years from now, Netflix could have more power than Disney. It might be the Netflix park we go to. It might be you don't know where things are going. Netflix is so much more ahead of everyone. Having 300 million monthly users and Disney only having 80 million monthly users. Now do that over 20 years, 30 years. Like the money just becomes so much different. The variety that Netflix can pose because they can pay money for all these different things that Disney, yes, Disney has the parks. They have the studio. They have this. They have that. So they're kind of spread thin where Netflix is really just dialed into this one medium, which is streaming. And they're going to win. They're going to win the game. Netflix is going to win the game. And I think that's what makes them so sexy to the NFL and why I don't think they have to have as much money as a Fox or a CNBC because CNBC has 1 million followers. You know what I mean? Like that is a massive downgrade than Netflix, who has 300 million worldwide users. And especially if you're NFL, what we just talked about earlier in the episode, where we talked about if NFL can make soccer a world thing where it's like soccer, everyone calls it soccer, not football, they won the game even more. And I think Netflix is a more of a pitch to that because how many people in India watch CNBC? How many people in Dubai watch Fox News? None. But I bet you they have millions and millions and millions of Netflix users. So that's a big draw.
Well, it's just ease of use. But it goes to the point where I texted you earlier today. The more things change, the more they remain the same. Everybody just goes in circles. It gets a little bit different, then it goes right back to what it was. It gets a little bit different, goes right back to where it was. And I think that's the definition of what Netflix is doing. I've always been curious in how we've thought about this a lot, like these Warner Bros. Studios, Fox Studio, what's going to happen? Because they don't really have like streaming platforms, you could say. Like Netflix is going to buy them or they're going to get, or Fox is going to buy Netflix. Like at some point, it doesn't make sense because it's.
I don't think Fox.
I don't think there's
Netflix.
room for everybody. I think Netflix or these big companies are going to just keep staying in power and they're just going to keep buying things.
I just
that's the
don't
point
think-
of like capitalism, like what we live in America. What people don't realize is you go to the store, you think you have options, but everything in that store is owned by 3 companies.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
just
like
don't-
that's where I don't know where this ends up with Fox and CBS and Netflix, and now Paramount Plus is getting into it. You know, Hulu has live TV. Now you have YouTube TV. It's like there's so much going on. I just don't know where it nets off because it's getting really fragmented now. But how life always works and how humans always work and how business always works, eventually it gets centralized. So it's like, what are the 2 big companies standing at the end of it? I still don't know.
Well,
I'm not counting out Disney.
Disney owns Hulu. They own all those things. They own ESPN. But my point is, Netflix isn't going to buy them because why would you buy some old shitty model when you have created the new model? Like Fox, CNBC, like all these, they're just old. They move slow. They don't know how to change. They've stuck in the same lane. It's like Facebook isn't going to buy a newspaper company. They're going to go buy a messaging thing that's going to help them with their thing. So I don't think Netflix buys the Fox or anything like that. They're going to buy the next thing you've never heard of that has some technology that allows them to AI. That's where
I just think there's
going.
always going to be this traditional TV studio. I think there's always going to be traditional radio. I think there's always going to be some type of newspaper or magazine. I don't think those things are going anywhere, actually.
I got a fight for my bros, I gotta stack out this gold. I tell you I'm on the road. About to get all this dough. Me and no fuck niggas know. I swear to God we the ghosts. This ain't the story they told. Man, if you know, then you know. I never had to tell my dogs that we on rough for greatness. They paper getters, they want money more than they want fake shit. I swear we go so hard, we on A-list. I see my niggas prevailing. We going hard for the hand. We gonna stack till we jaded. I just told my niggas that we on a mission. Yeah. It's gonna be hard to get it.